beautiful friends. So it's getting late in the afternoon at the moment, but I've got a small project that I need to work on. I thought I would take you along. It has to do with our lavender bush that we planted up front that is the only one of 3 that survived. So let me turn you around here. Alrighty, so this is the only lavender out of the 3 that we planted, and you've probably seen the previous video where we planted those perennial salvia. So today I am going to take this beauty out and we're going to put her in the back herb garden with the other lavender, and I'm going to show you how I kind of trim and maintain the lavender bushes to help keep them growing on and surviving the weirdness of the South, because the area that we are in, lavender is a major struggle bus for everybody. For the most part, people will plant lavender and use it like an annual here instead of like the perennial that it is. Now, this one in particular was supposed to have been created specifically for our area. All 3 of them were. Obviously, out of the 3, only 1 ended up surviving. Granted, our winter, we had that weirdness in the spring, and then the summer got so hot so soon, and then the temperature just plummeted, and it's just been extreme heat, cold, and that has killed even well-established trees. We're talking 40-year-old trees have died because of this weirdness that is going on, that is probably being created by all those planes that are just leaking pyrin, whatever. It's chemicals, people. They're spraying chemicals overhead. You want to know why the atmosphere is eroding away? It has to do with them, not your car. Just saying. So we're going to move her in the back, try and help her continue to live on, and help fill out that corner, because I've got a blank corner in that herb bed that really needs something there. Otherwise, I'm going to have a lot of weed encroachment, and more than likely the mint that's over there will try and take over. So I need something that can help battle the mint. So I'm going to go on ahead. I'm going to put you on hyperlapse for the digging up portion, and then we will head to the back and I will show you how I do lavender maintenance. Okay, so that's what we're doing today, lavender maintenance. Okay, so we're over in the herb garden section of the property now, but I wanted to take a minute and talk to you a little bit about plant failures. So there are really and truly no guarantees, okay? When it comes to plants, even if it's zoned for your area, there really is no guarantee in life, okay? Not in this world. There's absolutely no guarantee in this world outside of our Savior. So sometimes plants just die, okay? And there's really nothing you can do about it. There are times and seasons where you are going to struggle to grow things. Sometimes you just have to accept that there's going to be death when it comes to the garden. Now, that's not all the time. Sometimes it seems like it's all the time, some years, but it happens. And there's not a whole lot that you can do about it. So learning to accept in here is very important. All right. And even though I would have liked those other lavender to live, that's not the place for lavender. So I'm going to move on, and I'm going to put it in a place where I know that I have been successful in growing lavender. And I want to show you how I have managed to successfully grow lavender in this bed, so maybe you can replicate that if you're struggling to grow lavender yourself here. So let's go on ahead and get to the practical portion of this video, which is me showing you how to trim up your lavender for strength, growth, and just general health and maintenance, okay? As you can see, there is a little bit of shockiness going on that's not entirely surprising in this instance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to water this beautiful lavender in, and as you saw, yes, I did add gravel in here because, believe it or not, lavender is kind of like rosemary and they don't like really great soil. So that's all that there is to going on ahead and trimming up your lavender. Alright guys, so now that I've gotten that done, I'm going to go on ahead and I'm going to move on here to our big lavender. She has been here 5 years. There was a mother plant that she came from and that plant died out, but this girl, well, she actually survived the winter, but she does have quite a bit of dead material on her, so we want to go on ahead and we want to get that cleaned up just so that she knows she needs to start pushing out more new growth. Leaving dead things on your plant will prevent them from growing as well. It's like trimming off all of the bad and dead stuff just stimulates something in the good part of the plant that says, hey, you need to grow and thrive. So don't be afraid to get in there and trim off dead things on your plants, because sometimes it just needs to be done. But let me show you how I'm going to do that on her real quickly. Let me turn you around. As you can see, guys, this is our established lavender that we have had here for 5 years now. We do have some leftover winter damage, but she is obviously alive. She's putting out blooms. We have bees and butterflies that keep trying to find the buds. Of course, she hasn't completely budded out yet, but hopefully getting some of this dead stuff off will stimulate some new growth as well as some blooming. So let me go on ahead and show you how I'm going to do that. Alright guys, as you can see here, this is all dead in here. So all I'm going to do is come down here as far as I can and trim off these dead portions of the lavender stalk. This is going to take a little bit of time and a little bit of patience to do, but trust me, it is going to be well worth the end result. Okay guys, get a hold of you here. So I know what I've done probably looks pretty darn stinking harsh, but let me show you what I have found. I'll turn you around here. So going in and getting all of this dead stuff cleared off, and I did end up taking a few of these that were attached to some mostly dead stems. It's fine. It's not going to harm it in any way, shape, or form. But let me show you the exciting bit. So she is actually in the process of dividing herself, which it looks like she probably did this last year as well, because we have one lavender plant here from her, one lavender plant right there, one lavender plant here, then we have another section right here. This is new. And then she's divided out some babies this year here. And so yeah, we've got several lavender plants in here. Now you could theoretically, and I have done this before when she's just exploded and she's divided herself out intensely, I have gone ahead and I have dug out some of those secondary or third plants, because there's a point where they can get a little bit crowded. But I think what I'm going to do this year is I'm just going to leave all of these in here. I'm not going to do any root disturbance because we are supposed to be in a super El Nino year, and I believe, if I understand correctly, that means we're going to have a seriously wet winter. So be forewarned, guys, that it's probably going to ice, we might have snow, I don't know, but I don't want to mess with her roots in lieu of that. Also, I'm going to try and let all of these smaller babies, because if I go in there right now to divide her out, those smaller babies that she's made, I may end up losing. So I would rather them come on stronger and turn into full fledgling plants, and then potentially divide her out next year if needed. Now, that being said, I think she's looking great, to be honest. I don't foresee any major issues with her this year after having gotten in there and trimmed everything off. So the only question is going to be whether or not our new guy here is going to make it through the intense heat of the summer and then through the winter. But I do need to go ahead and give these guys a drink after I prune. I do try to get in there and give them a good soaking. I won't soak them again for the next week after this because they don't like a lot of wet. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use my nozzle hose and water down at the base and not on top of the leaves, just to make sure that I don't introduce any mold or blight onto the areas that I just cut. I've got our Czech lavender here that I just trimmed up and showed you. So if that one that I transplanted doesn't end up making it through the winter either, which I'm going to try and make sure that it makes it through the winter, probably mulch the top a little bit. I'll show you that this fall. But if it lives, it lives. If not, the Czech lavender is a big producer and she has survived for years, and next year I can take one of those babies and then just move it down at the end of the bed. Worst case scenario. But I hope you found this video helpful if you are trying to grow lavender. I know that it can be difficult, especially here in the south, because they don't like a lot of moisture and we are very wet in this area of the country. But if you have any questions or comments or want to know something that maybe I didn't touch on in this video, go on ahead and drop me a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. As always, keep it simple, natural, and essential. I'll see you on the next video, guys. Bye.